Let's think about all the risks involved with artificial intelligence. You don't have to be a full-blown AI pessimist to be worried about the potential negative effects of AI for humankind. Let me simply list some of the commonly voiced concerns. It's a bit random this, but here are 19 possible risks of AI that people think about within the AI community, the specialists, the researchers, but also ordinary people like you and me. 19 risks. 1. Misalignment. Misalignment. What happens if AI goals or values don't align with human ones? If we can't create a friendly or beneficial or ethical AI? 2. Malicious actors. Bad people can do bad things with AI, even if the tools are ethically neutral. 3. The loss of moral responsibility. If we delegate decision-making to autonomous AI systems on the battlefield or in the operating theatre, who is morally and legally responsible? 4. A lack of transparency. Many AI systems, especially those involved with deep neural networks, they have what's called a black box at the centre of the decision-making process that makes it impossible for us, even those involved with the building of them, impossible for us to understand how the decisions are actually made. So there's a lack of transparency and there's an inability to know why this AI has made this decision in this case. 5. The reinforcement of prejudice. Very often with big data, with machine learning, AI is mirroring or even amplifying the prejudices that are built into the data that it's drawing from. 6. An over-concentration of power. When a small number of tech companies control the digital space we live within and the artificial intelligence that we are using and that in many ways is using us. 7. A loss of privacy. So much personal data is already stored and sifted, and even more is coming, that very little privacy will remain. What will privacy mean? How will we keep it if we even still want it? 8. Social control. In a surveillance society, our thinking and behaviour can be controlled by governments or companies in benign ways, but also in nefarious ways. This is already happening. It will keep increasing and it will become exponential. 9. System vulnerabilities. What happens simply if AI becomes indispensable, but then it fails in some way? Not because of bad actors or unethical systems, but just it breaks and we need it and we are completely dependent on it. 10. Cybersecurity. If more depends on AI, then there is more to hack. And then, it's a vicious circle, AI in turn gives more sophisticated tools to those who are doing the hacking. 11. Fake news. We've all heard about this. It's much easier to create and disseminate false news and harder to verify the truth, not just in text, but in photos and in videos and in every way imaginable. 12. Inequality. How much will AI cost the user? Who might suffer because of digital exclusion, because they can't afford it or they're not in a society that's using it? How will inequality grow? Perhaps or not. Who knows? These are the questions. 13. Unemployment. Even as AI is creating new jobs, thousands, millions, it could destroy many, many more in the process. This has happened before with the Industrial Revolution, with computers, with the internet, but which direction will it go in? 14. Copyright exploitation. AI is feeding off the work of writers and artists that has been sucked into its data set without acknowledging or compensating them. What's this doing for them and for the future of creativity and copyright and ownership of intellectual property? 15. Machine stupidity. This is not when AI or the computer breaks. It's when generative AI hallucinates, meaning it gives you an answer with great confidence which is simply false or misleading. It doesn't know that it's not true. It doesn't know even what truth is, but it gives you the truth as if it's true, and you can't tell the difference between truth and falsehood anymore. 16. What's sometimes called tail event catastrophes. Tail event catastrophes, or very, very unlikely but significant events that might happen. This is when a normally reliable AI system makes a single rogue decision with catastrophic consequences, such as a nuclear launch. It's called a tail event because in a graph, a bell curve, normally you're in the middle of the graph, things are going fine, and you think, well, nothing can go wrong because on average everything is fine. But then something non-average happens, a tail event, and even though it's not very often, it's big enough to cause disasters. 17. Ecological costs. This is very hidden, but AI servers, the computers themselves, they require vast amounts of energy to run. What are the environmental costs of AI? 18. Control. How do you keep the gorilla in its cage? How do you keep the gorilla in its cage? Even before it becomes super intelligent. Just with ordinary AI today or AI in a few years' time, even if it hasn't taken over the world, how do you control it as a human race? And 19, finally, I'm sure there's others, but here's my list. 19, the singularity. What happens when artificial general intelligence, if it comes, then creates an artificial superintelligence that then becomes autonomous and uncontrollable and a potential threat to our very existence, even because it's trying to harm us or it's just doing its own thing and it doesn't care about us at all. ASI, artificial superintelligence leading to a singularity. This is the deepest existential concern. So there is my random list, no particular order, although it's finished with the big one. Small, medium, large and catastrophic possible risks of artificial intelligence. Is that enough to turn you into an AI pessimist? Well, don't worry. The AI optimists know about all these worries as well. They've got the same questions, but the optimists think that we can overcome them with enough intelligence, human intelligence, or that we can overcome them simply because they are overcomable and they're not actually existential threats. In recent years, there have been increasing calls to develop an ethical or beneficial AI. It's sometimes called friendly AI, calling on researchers and companies to self-regulate or going one step further and demanding statutory regulation at national and global levels. Many companies researching AI have a division today devoted to ethical AI. This is common, it's the norm certainly in bigger AI companies. Interestingly, the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, has been a big part of this movement. Pope Francis has issued a number of really deep reflections on AI. I'd say one of his richest is a 2024 message for the World Day of Social Communications, and I'll put a link to that in the information in the comments of the video. And the Pontifical Academy for Life at the Vatican played a key part in establishing the Rome Call for AI Ethics. The Rome Call for AI Ethics, which has been signed by IBM, Microsoft, and many other commercial, civic and religious organisations. So there's loads of thinking going on about risks of AI, ethical, beneficial, friendly AI. This video now has been all about the risks. I'm not talking here about the benefits, I'm talking about them in other places. But here it's good to capture together some of the risks, some of the questions, to see what people are doing to try and mitigate these risks, and then to make up your own mind about whether these risks are serious or small and how to approach AI in your own life.